Hey everyone, this is Kick It with KC. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about how I made over $2,000 selling stuff on Mercari. Now, Mercari is a resale platform very similar to Poshmark. That's one of its most common competitors, where you post an item for sale and people can purchase it. You get a shipping label and you ship it to them. If you are familiar with this service, that is great, because I'm not going to go into super detail about how the service actually works. I'm going to go into more so how to optimize your posts and therefore get the most money for your items. So if you like this kind of content, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below what kind of finance and lifestyle content you want to see next, and keep watching. The first piece of advice I have to offer you is to be honest and transparent with your listings. I have mostly 5-star reviews for anything I've sold on Mercari, and that's because I'm very honest in my photos and descriptions of my items. I don't lie about the quality or condition of the item or its authenticity. Depending on what item you may be selling, authenticity may be important. I also make sure to include multiple pictures showing different angles of the item, different important information such as tags, sizing information, brand information, anything really that the buyer might want to know, so that way they are getting exactly what they expect to get in the mail. I try to use really good lighting for all of my pictures and make them really clear and bright. I also try to include at least one picture that captures the accurate color of the item, because sometimes, I'm sure you know, that color is difficult to get on camera and it can be hard to really capture the correct color that you see in person. The next piece of advice that I'd offer you when selling something on Mercari is to make sure you are specific so that the buyer isn't expecting something different when they get their package in the mail. For example, I recently sold a silicone case that can go on the AirPods 1st or 2nd generation. I made sure to include in the description that it does not include AirPods, it's just the case. Because what will happen is a buyer will get your package in the mail and they'll be expecting AirPods. Maybe they didn't read the description clearly, maybe they saw the picture and assumed it came with AirPods, or the fact that the title has the word AirPods in it, they might be expecting something different. And then obviously when they get that package, you're going to be disappointed, and that might lower your rating as well. So I always make sure to be overly specific. I know it can seem redundant or a little bit annoying, but you'd rather be safe than sorry, and you want to make sure you're clear to all your buyers. Something else I always do whenever I get messages on Mercari from potential buyers is check their profiles and their ratings. Sometimes you can get suspicious or a little bit fishy messages that just don't really make sense, and then you click on their profile and they've been a member since 2021, they have 0 ratings, and they have 0 posts of things that they might be selling. They might also not have a profile picture, which can be a little concerning. I really don't have this issue often, but obviously scammers are out there, and sometimes I can get messages in my inbox that just seem a little fishy, or the offer on an item is extremely low and it's a little concerning, or sometimes I have even gotten people asking me to contact them and they send their phone number in a cryptic format, so that way Mercari doesn't flag the message. Obviously there's ways to report those kind of buyers, because they're not on there to buy products, they're on there to scam people, but just something I look for just in case. Sometimes too, you might have a buyer who is consistently giving their sellers low ratings because they have issues, or they want to scam people or figure out a way to get a refund for the items they've purchased. So I just like to keep tabs on that buyer and their ratings, because in the ratings, the seller rates the buyer as well. So you can see if the sellers are saying that buyer is not pleasant to work with, that buyer tried to scam them, the buyer tried to argue with them, or whatever the case may be, you have a little bit better of an idea of who you are selling to and if you might encounter any issues with that buyer. Next piece of advice I have to offer you is to make sure you ship your items on time. Mercari does have different badges on your seller profile that indicate that you are a good, responsible, and reliable seller, and one of those is a fast shipper. They give you about 3 business days to ship an item, which is a pretty generous amount of time. Obviously, you might have work or something else in your schedule that can't allow you to ship the item right away, but it gives you an ample amount of time to get that item to the post office or to the UPS store or wherever it may be. And it also makes sure that your buyer understands that they're going to get the item in a reasonable amount of time. If you don't ship within the 3 business days, the buyer actually has the option to cancel their order Obviously, if you already shipped it, sometimes there can be tracking issues where the tracking number is not scanned right away, but Mercari does account for that time. So there's really no reason that the buyer should have to cancel their order unless you are knowingly not shipping the item on time. I definitely have had quite a few buyers who in the review say I would definitely buy from this seller again because of their shipping time, responses in the messages, being friendly, communicating with any possible issues of the order, and the quality of the packaging that the item came in. Now, relating to packaging, I do have a little Mercari hack. I actually spend no money on tools to mail the item. The only thing I really might spend money on is shipping tape. But other than that, I really always recycle poly mailers that I get in the mail from other services. I get a lot of Amazon packages. I shop Lululemon a little too much, and that's my guilty pleasure. But I use the plastic mailers that I get in the mail from them to just send out my Mercari packages. That way I'm not spending any money on packaging because it can be annoying and it'll add up over time. Another tip I have for selling items on Mercari is to use the promote feature. Now, the promote feature is a button you can use on your listings that allows you to promote your item either to all viewers or to people who have liked your item. So for people who have liked your item, you can offer them a special price right in their inbox and they can accept or counter it right there on the spot. This can get you a quick sale if you're having issues selling your item when you're offering an exclusive price to the people who have liked your item. Another thing you can do is promote to all users. What that does is it lowers the price of your listing by a few dollars and it actually puts your listing to the top of the searches. That can be beneficial, obviously, because it's the first thing that people are going to see when they're searching for a certain item, and they're obviously going to be more likely to click on that item, look through the description, and potentially purchase your listing. Another tip I have for you is to use as many of the characters allotted for the title of your listing. I like to try to include as much information as I can in the title, as well as using a clear first picture that's going to come up when they search for your type of listing. I resell a lot of Lululemon that I'm no longer wearing. For example, if I'm selling a tank top, I might say Lululemon Swiftly Tech Racerback 6 indicating the size. Lululemon, they know the brand, and then Swiftly Tech Racerback, that's the style of tank that they would be getting, so they know exactly what it is. And obviously if they search something like that, they know exactly what they're looking for, so they can tell right from the title that that's an item that they might want, and they're going to be more likely to click on that item, read the description, and look through all the photos. You're also saving your potential buyers time that way, when all they have to do is look at the very first picture and the title to know it's something they're actually going to be interested in, rather than they can't tell what it is from the very first picture and the title doesn't really give a lot of detail, so I have to click on the description, read the whole thing, scroll through all the pictures. It can just be time consuming, and you will be more clear to your buyers if you just have all of that stuff listed right in the title. Last thing I do to help boost my sales on Mercari is I compare whatever I'm listing to other listings. So what I do is I look for comparable items, I look for what their condition might be and what they're priced at, and it gives you a good idea of how much you might get for your items. I think that's a really great way to price your items, and there's actually a feature on the search tools that you can see the sold items, and I honestly think that's more important because what you can do is see exactly what that Lululemon Swiftly Tech Racerback tank sold for 20 times, and you might see 20 or so listings that sold for around $35, and you're like, great. If I put my tank that's at a comparable condition to these other ones at $35, I pretty much know that it's gonna sell. Also, maybe you weren't sure how to price your item and you go and search it and you see that people are pricing it really high, way higher than you thought, and now you're able to make way more money off that item than what you originally thought. So those are all the tips that I use to sell my items on Mercari. Again, I just hit over $2,000 in sales on Mercari this month, and I really like the platform. I have no issues using it. I've been a member of Mercari since 2015, and I think that it's a great platform to resell your items, and I've had a lot of success, so hopefully my tips can get you a lot of success on Mercari as well. Again, thank you guys so much for kicking it with KC. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and maybe comment down below how much you've made on Mercari, any other tips that have made you a successful seller. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to kick it with you again soon.